Today we're going to talk about connective tissue. And remember, epithelial tissue is the stuff on the outside or lining of organs. So connective tissue is the stuff in the middle. And technically it's not meat. That's more like muscle tissue, which is its own separate category. But, I was just trying to be cute. Anyway, um, the first type is what we call loose connective tissue. And just like the name sounds, it's not especially strong. It's mostly a few cells, some fibers, and kind of a liquid or, not very strong ground tissue. Okay. The three types there are areolar tissue. Um, this is common in your skin, some other places, but these are the cells. And then you see there's a lot of fibers and a lot of fluid. There's a lot of space for nerves and for blood vessels and just space for other things to get in. All right. Adipose tissue is fat tissue. So this is adipose tissue. Each one of these cells, somewhere in there, there's like a nucleus and a mitochondria and the normal cell stuff, but mostly it's storing fat. Okay. And then reticular tissue is kind of the inside of organs like your liver or your pancreas. It's got some fibers that are kind of creating a framework for the cells to latch onto. But again, it's not very strong. This is loose connective tissue. Okay. So the opposite is dense connective tissue. And with dense tissue, you've got some cells and then there's a whole lot of fibers in between. Okay. And so dense regular connective tissue, all the fibers are kind of going the same direction. And so this is really good for your tendons and your ligaments where they have to be really strong in one direction. But as you probably know, if you plant your foot in the ground and then you move your body a different way, you can easily tear those tendons or ligaments, like in your knee, because they're only strong in that one main direction. If you force them a different way, they kind of aren't as stable. Now, dense irregular connective tissue is stable in all directions. Okay, so there's another layer of your skin that's dense irregular connective tissue, and that's, you can pull that in any direction and it's really hard to tear. All right, and then elastic connective tissue, the elastic fibers help it go back to its original shape. Okay, so your arteries, expand and contract every time your heart beats. They need this elastic connective tissue on the inside so that they can get back to their original size and shape. Okay, lungs kind of the same way. All right, next we get to cartilage, and there's a few different types of cartilage, but they all have a few things in common. One, they don't have a good blood supply. It takes a long time to heal cartilage because you can't get it the nutrients it needs. They're surrounded in this chondroitin sulfate, this rubbery stuff with collagen in it. And the cells, the actual living cells, are called chondrocytes, and they live in these little holes called lacunae. All right. Now, there's three types of cartilage. There's hyaline cartilage, which is the kind of the white stuff at the end of your bones. It reduces friction and absorbs shock to some extent, but mostly you don't want to be grinding your bones every time you move. All right. Fibrocartilage is like the discs between your vertebrae. It's got a lot more collagen, a lot more fibers that give it more support, and it helps support your weight. All right. And then finally, elastic cartilage. When you think about your ears and your nose as being made of cartilage, that's elastic cartilage. And, if you bend your ears, they go back to their original shape. Okay. Then the other two types of connective tissue are bone tissue, which the cells themselves are these little kind of dark spots. Those are called osteocytes. And they kind of exist in these concentric circles surrounding blood vessels. We'll get to bones later. And then blood tissue is technically a connective tissue. It's cells with a lot of space in between them, like most connective tissue does. But that space is plasma. It's liquid instead of being solid with fibers like the others. But blood is technically a connective tissue.